we really nailed this job. Other companies came out to give estimates to our customers, and after they saw what was going on down there with all this ledge and exactly what it would take in order to get this crawl space and basement dry, they wouldn't even give them an estimate. They actually walked from the job, and we get a whole lot of business like that where other people just are completely outmatched, and we're able to completely rectify and solve the entire problem like we did here. Customers extremely happy, the job went great, and we're going to be finishing up today. We're standing on a massive piece of ledge rock. It goes down, and they chipped out as much as they could back in the day when they built this beautiful home. And then they got as far as they could get and said, that's it, we're gonna build the house. And it's built right on top of a huge boulder. So we call it ledge. As we get in, there's a crawl space. It's not a real low crawl space. It's got some room to work with, which is a blessing. But we found that right up against the footing, big boulders and then solid ledge ran across the entire back wall, and we had to come out the width of the footing and then make a trench through solid rock about this wide and about this deep. We ended up at one point, I think we were running 6 hammers in order to get through that ledge to be able to install what we needed to in order to know that we were going to completely solve this entire problem, give them a totally dry crawl space, and then another part of the area is full-fledged basement. This is the crawl space. We got a wall that's on top of a footing. The footing's even extra wide. Normally they're about 16 inches. And this one's, it ranges a couple different widths, but it's anywhere from 8, 10, even 12 inches wide. So it's a different type of thing. We love that kind of stuff because very easily we can customize what we're gonna do to fit the footing exactly. Now where I'm kneeling, this was solid ledge, it was solid rock, and we needed to get our drainage in. We're only going to put one amount of drainage in, and that's a whole lot. So underneath where I'm kneeling, there, you can see our trench is nice and wide, and it's nice and deep, and it's got a 4-inch corrugated perforated ADS pipe, and it's pitched perfectly so when water flows through it, that pipe is going to flush itself out. It's perpetually self-cleaning. Here's one of the attempts that we tear out all the time on regular basements. Now, this is the only drainage this company provides, and there's a couple of them that do it. Very inexpensive to install, very limited effectiveness, and zero in this particular situation. So if you think about that, and then you think about how we do it, where we have a drain board that allows the water to flow right over top of the footing through this drain. This is all going to be filled with concrete, each one of these pockets. So these are permanently formed water drains that let the water go all the way across. And again, this would be customized right out to whatever the thickness of the footing or width of the footing was. And then it would run right down the concrete footing into the drainage, 10, 12, maybe 14 inches below the bottom of the floor. So that's where the water is going to be managed. This would be completely covered. This is going to have a vapor barrier over it, and then we'd be able to re-cement back over to here and get enough cement on top of the footing to be able to hold our flow channel perfectly in place. The combination of the two work together. When you bring this in, there is no combination. This works by itself. It's the whole drainage. It's way up here. The only drainage they have is up here. Our drainage is 14 inches below it. If you can manage the water down there, no water is going to touch the floor. Because of how we do our flow channel and our vapor barrier, no water even touches the concrete as it flows underneath to get down to our drainage. That's how you get a completely dry floor and a completely dry crawl space. And then we apply this also to full basements too. This job has a lot of different facets to it. It's multi-tiered. There's another tier out on that side. There's a tier here. It goes down to this area here. And then the whole property works around it, and the yard itself slopes off away. The important part about that is that we want to tie in all the discharges to be able to run off the slope and utilize the yard for the percolation of the water we're going to be discharging out. How do you do that without running an enormous amount of pipe all around, hanging down, attached to the floor, and all kinds of things like that? So what we did was we came up, or came through the basket, came up through here, went in through this wall. Now we have drainage over here. Our drainage is nice and wide and nice and deep. Plenty of room to be able to run a discharge line. So we ran this discharge line through our drainage all the way around the corner, went through the wall into the other crawl space over there. So there's not a whole bunch of pipe or any pipe whatsoever other than what's on the other side of that wall, through the trench, and then gets out to the part of the yard that we're able to utilize the slope. Now, this is all drainage here. What are we going to do with that water? Well, we run our drainage, pitch it over to here, and once again, rather than have to put a whole nother one of these on the top, we were able to take this and drain it down through here and into the basket. This is going from 4-inch corrugated perforated ADS pipe, which is perpetually self-cleaning, into our Schedule 40 PVC, going down into here, and then this whole area in here, all 4 walls of it, are pitched around, going to this pump too, discharging out through this line. So it's a real creative way in order to keep from having to go to multiple pump stations and be able to get the entire area dry with the proper amount of drainage the most efficient way possible. We've wrapped this job up here in Harrison, New York. It went great. Threw a whole lot of curveballs at us, was an enormous amount of work, way more than what a normal basement waterproofing job would entail. We ran into, I'm actually standing on it, this big monster piece of ledge. This thing goes down and across underneath the entire house, and that's what we had to work with. When water hits ledge, it works its way through every nook and cranny and crack and seam in the ledge and makes it extremely difficult to find out exactly where the water is coming from. So you have to take an entirely different approach. You have to put a drainage system that encompasses the entire foundation all the way around a very large crawl space and then also another basement area. We were able to do that. It turned out fabulous. Dealing with ledge is a whole different breed of cat. Not many companies have any idea whatsoever. It's one of our strong suits. We really shine when it comes to doing that. What we refer to it as is a job that requires an enormous amount more elbow grease, and this one is certainly falls into that category. It went great. We're all finished. Everybody's happy, and they have a dry crawl space and a dry basement. If you liked the video, do me a favor and subscribe and hit the like button. And until next time, enjoy your dry crawl space and your dry basement.